So hello everyone. So we're gonna start our nếp mới 11 now. So firstly, I would like to introduce you all, Chan Chai and Jane. They are the one who gonna the main speakers on this nếp mới today. Firstly, I would like to invite each of you to introduce yourself first, and then we're gonna start the flow. I introduced the flow to the group already.
Hey, xin chào everyone. Nice to have a evening event with you today. And I'm so enjoy listening to Vietnamese. Yeah, I didn't hear Vietnamese for so long. Yeah, thank you.
Hello, everyone. Same. I'm excited today. Hello, nice to meet you. Yeah, I'm not sure whether if we need to introduce ourselves, maybe because we have already a lot of introduction in the advertisement description. So, so maybe we can just cut through that. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Or what kind of introduction that you want us to do?
You can share shortly your passion and why you are here. That's it for short. Yeah.
My passion. Okay. Perhaps we can connect to our topic today about conflict. Yeah. My passion is I want peace in the world. I wish to see people choose care and dialogue rather than violence to each other. Since I have been passing many events about violence, and I study violence study and peace studies. I also teach peace and conflict studies, so I learn a lot about violence in the world, and that's why I come to conflict transformation topic that that we gonna share today. Yeah, that's all.
Yeah, thank you for your question, Hui. I think it's a very very deep question. For me, yeah, let me see. I've started with conflict. I shared with you as well, actually. I started with conflict because we have a lot of conflict at home since I was young, and I witnessed violence in my own family since I was young. And I think that have brought me to, like Chan Chai say, hoping for peace and harmony in this world. So that's my passion. And I always tell people, I started out with having fear of conflict. Today, I'm still sometimes having fear when I have to confront with someone that I have tension with. But I think, that is normal for human beings, that we do not like conflict. And we sometimes feel a little bit tense when we are in conflict situation. Yeah. So that's part of my passion. But another passion would be, I graduated psychology. So one of my passion is also about, working with our internal world, with our trauma, with our wounds, and things like that. That's the other passion. Yeah, thank you.
That's wonderful for your sharing. It's very deep and broad enough so that people can connect to what you're doing right now and the topic today. So I did introduce the flow of the session for the whole group. So I think we can start the first one. It is about the importance of inner work when dealing the conflict, the outside conflict challenges. Yeah.
Yeah, I have prepared some slide. Not so many slides. Can you allow me to share? All right. Okay. Here is the restart. Actually, I need to introduce more about my background. We will come back to this diagram later. I would like to share that actually I teach peace studies in the university in Thailand, and I share my background to many people, something like this. I teach peace study. I work in the deep south provinces of Thailand where there's conflict and violence between Buddhists, Muslim, the army, and the separatist group. And I also work some time during that time to some certain about political conflict of Thailand during that time, 20 years ago. And more, even I teach peace studies, I realize that when I go to the university, I fight and I have conflict with my colleagues in the peace study center. And when I go back home, I fight with my wife and my kids. Yeah. And I start to realize more and more that when I work with the conflict and violence outside, in the outside world, I have some conflict inside myself too, especially in my personal life with my family and my colleagues. So rather than just study about external conflict, I become more and more study about my own internal world, because I have a lot of internal conflict inside that reflect out to especially my kids, because I have daddy have more power than the children. So there's many times that I burst out to my children, and I feel guilty that I'm not a good daddy enough. So a lot more internal conflict looping into me. That's why we start this session, this event, with the emphasize about the importance of internal conflict. We need to realize, we need to work and align inside ourselves first before we can work out to other interpersonal conflict and external conflict. Like in this diagram, usually Jane and me, when we work in these 4 layers of conflict. From the inner layer, inner level of conflict. After that, we go out working with interpersonal conflict level or family conflict, that someone have conflict with other. And after that, we go to organizational and community level, working with conflict, facilitating and mediating conflict inside organization and community. And also right now, not right now, always, we work in the societal level, also the structural level, which is quite difficult and more complicated. But you can see that the orange circle is inside, is the core that we need to work with. Whatever layers that we work with conflict, we need to work with people internal world, especially when people have conflict to each other. It's not about only rationality or reason, but it's also about feeling and emotion. And to some certain, it's about trust among each other, and trust cannot be rebuilt by having understanding about reason or rationality, something like that. I pause here so Jane can add.
Yeah, maybe you can take down the slide so we can see each other. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'm thinking about, let's say if I have conflict with someone and I am very angry, and if I just want to go and talk to the other person, I think I would not be really centered. And I would be going with a lot of my emotion, and I might kind of attack the other person. So before doing that, for me, starting with the inner world is more about, having self-compassion, having self-acceptance, and really understanding myself. Like, what is it that really make me angry or having frustration about this person? So it's always starting about me and trying to have self-empathy for myself. That's the most important thing for inner work, is we start with self-empathy. Knowing what is important for us in this situation. And then once I have empathy for myself, I have acceptance for myself, I know what is important for me, then I can be very clear before I go and talk to the other person. And I think I want to go in with more feeling of more constructive rather than destructive. This is one point. But another point for me, I want to mention this about our work as well, is that when we want to move, when we have conflict, then I would ask myself, do I want to continue a relationship with this person? If not, then I don't have to bother to work with myself and then go in. And I think that's it. We don't have to always, confront someone within the tension or conflict context, right? But then if we say yes, because this relationship is important, either it's because this is a friend, this is someone that I work with, this is someone within the community that, that we have to work together. Then if I say that, then I have to start working with myself first. And then I would also later on set an intention that it's going to be a collaborative relationship. So that's about inner work for me. And the other thing for me about inner work, which is very important, which is related to trauma. I mentioned to you that I have passion for trauma or about our past wound. And many times when we get angry with someone or when we have conflict with someone and when we become very agitated, there is also likely, but not all the time, there could be a time where when I'm angry with, let's say I'm angry with Chanchai, we have tension. And I don't know why whenever he does something like this, I got very angry, like one particular action. Let's say if he speak like a man, like he's very smart, or things like that, like macho, And then whenever he does that, I notice myself that, oh, this is not, this is just example, okay, Chanchai? It's not a real
Thank you.
case. Yeah, but I notice my body, like having this tension all the time, but I just don't know why, but I just got angry, And then if we pause a little bit and then we slow down, and then I ask myself, what is it that making me so angry about him? And sometimes I might realize that, oh, actually it's not about him. Actually, it's about someone in my life in the past who could be using their power, who might be a man, and who always show their smart side. And that kind of, put me down in the past. So it could be my trauma that it's making me having this conflict with him. So I think the other part would be, really pause and see, am I having conflict with him or am I having conflict with someone in the past? So that's another part where I think starting with inner work is important. I think I'll pause here. I have a lot to say, but maybe I'll pause here. Perhaps I have another part about neuroscience, but I think I'll pause here first. I let we share, or if there's any reflection or any question for us.
Thank you, Tanjai and Jane, for your sharing. It's very insightful, and I think like very concrete solution when it comes to resolving the conflict. I'm very impressed when you said that the conflict outside is not something that that we have to come back to ourselves first. Not we rush to other people, look at deeply to ourselves. So I want to ask here. I know that being calm is very important. It is the key. However, how can we connect to ourselves during that time? So it's not easy when we deal with anger, deal with sadness, or something that the emotion is coming up when during our conflict.
I would like to say that working with ourselves, our internal conflict or internal issue, it doesn't mean that we need to be calm.
I think the word is centered and alignment. Yeah, sorry, I added.
Yeah, we can be very, 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 very angry, and sometimes we can follow our anger to see what really matter make us angry. That's many times, especially in Asian culture, like you and me. I mean, like Thai culture, Vietnamese culture, that say we cannot show our anger. We cannot be angry. But actually we angry about something, right? And another part inside us suppress ourselves. So we cannot finish the process inside ourselves, so that we cannot, and then we cannot understand what really happened inside us. When we feel angry about something, actually it's about there's something very important inside us that might be missed or might be violated. There must be something that we value a lot, and people devalue it, something like that. Yeah, I pause here. Was the Jim?
Can you ask a question again, Hui?
I mean, I want to ask about how when we deal with emotions that really coming up, although we consciously know that we should be calm, but sometimes it's very hard, and how we can practice that.
I think, like Chan Chai say, the key is not about not being angry, but are we able to befriend with our anger? We can still go into a conflict to communicate with someone, being aware that we are angry, and that's still okay because we are aligned. But there's a difference between being angry and overwhelmed. I think when you say calm, for me, it's more about what if my anger take the priority, and I think that might be the key for me too. How do we, when we are overwhelmed, what do we do with it? There are many things we could do, and I think you know as well. You can share yours too. I think you have a lot of experience. In our work, and I do that a lot, is I just now I mentioned about self-empathy, right? Like Chai say, we pause and then we ask, what is so important for me that make me angry? Right? I want to protect myself. Usually there's something that is so important and you want to protect. That's why you're angry. That is something that is important that someone might have crossed your boundary. That's why, anger act as a boundary. Like, this is not okay right now, right? So first of all, for me is, you pause, you come back to yourself. You ask, you talk to your anger, you befriend your anger. Second, if you cannot do that, you can find a friend right? Ask for a friend to really listen to you, to help, bring down the overwhelmed part of you, so that you can kind of connect more with yourself. Another very good one is really to do physical activity. Anger is it's the energy in your body. It wants to explode, right? So we cannot just say, hey, calm. Sometimes you need to really do something, energize it. You can go running. I usually I scream a lot with pushing the wall. It's very, we call this somatic, right? Because it's very somatic. It's our body reaction, very natural reaction that it wants to protect us. So our body kind of it really wants to do something. So you can do different kind of physical activity. But if you are already with the person, let's say in front of you, I think it's very good to ask for a pause before carrying on. Yeah. Chancha, you want to add?
I think of myself. I do many things when I feel angry with someone. One thing that I love to do is when I drive and there's only me in the car, I turn on the music, some music that I can shout and I can sing so loud in the car, so that I can burst out some of my energy going out. Yeah. The key here is that, like Jane said, differentiate between ourselves and the anger. Or it's like just being aware about the anger and go with the anger, not let the anger push you, but go with the anger and see there's some deeper level of also emotion and also value that be violated. And I found there's many times anger, the underneath of anger is sadness. We feel sad about something that being violated. There's two ways. One way, people feel frozen when we sad. And sometimes people fight with anger when they feel sad. So that's the reason that we feel angry. And we have no need to be calm. What we need is awareness about what is important inside us. And we need space inside us or with some of friends who understand us, so that we can process it out. Yeah.
Yeah, and Hui, maybe you would like to share your way as well, like how do you connect and work with it?
So I want to summarize like what some of the things that you guys have shared that I think will be very valuable. Firstly, that we should change our attitude towards anger. Anger is not something to should eliminate, suppress. It actually is part of us, and we should be connect and stick with it to see what behind it. Maybe it's the values, or maybe it's a trauma in the past. What's behind it? So that we should be friends with it. It's a gateway to go deeper into ourselves. And another way to view it is the energy. So if we have the space or some suitable situation, we can express it in a very healthy way. We can push it, our energy out or screaming out. Or another thing that Jen said that I felt very connected to that is if we cannot find resources inside, we look for the resources outside, which is the friend that we trust or understand us. So I think they are some of the methods that I think very useful for us when it comes to dealing with our inner emotions before we deal with our outer side. And I saw that one had questions. So you can turn on the mic and share with it.
Là giờ chị có thể hỏi đúng không? Phải không Huy?
Dạ sao ạ?
Là giờ tới chị có thể hỏi đúng không?
Đúng rồi ạ.
Yeah, yeah. I purposely say some Vietnamese for Chan Chai to listen to. No, I'm just kidding. I think I need your consultant. Um, One of the subjects I teach at school is social emotional learning, and I also share with my student the need of the difficult emotion is the need or unmet need, and also share with them many like activity that we can do to deal with the anger before we action before we do something. And the more you can imagine, the more that I share with them, okay, at that time you can like go out of the meeting room, or you can go somewhere, you can dance, you can like I mean the more I say, the more my student restrict the space. I mean, when I say something and he said, "No, teacher, I don't have enough time to go out. No, teacher, that person, the stimulus is there. I cannot breathe. I breathe, but that person is still talking, and make me more angry." I mean, and even I say, okay, you can pause. You can like don't say anything. You just like be there and aware. But he said, I cannot do that. I mean, when I provide the tactics or I provide the activity, and he just, I cannot do that. I cannot blah 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 blah. So at the end, this is when I need your consultant. At the end, I said, okay, if you want to do anything, just do it. If you want to say anything, just say it. But you need to be responsible with your action and with what you say, what you do. And now you're 19 years old. If you can do that, just do that. If you cannot do that, you need to pause. You need to breathe. You need to like do the thing that we have learned. Is this okay? Is this okay with that? Yeah. Because when I provide anything, the solution, and he just say, I don't have time, I don't have space, I cannot do that, I cannot practice more. So I answer that question with like I didn't have other ways to share, so that's why I say that. But I'm not sure is this good or not, because after I answer that question, I really scared that my student would do something not good, and and the fault is from me. I make a mistake. So what do you think about that? ขอบคุณค่ะ
Cảm ơn. He or she is about 19 years old, right? So university student. No. Okay, so quite adult.
Yeah.
Yeah. First, I can see that whatever you advise, it might unmet what he or she needs. That's why he or she try to reject that I cannot do this. Yeah, there might be something that underneath is there is his or her need that haven't yet met by your advice. Yeah, until you say that, okay, open to whatever you want to do. Yeah, this is something that he or she might want, but I don't know what it is exactly. Yeah, but I like when you said that be responsible for the consequences that might happen of what you choose to do. Yeah, and for me, if I want to say that, do whatever you want, I might go with one criteria, with something like do no harm to yourself and other to whatever you want to do, you can do. Only do no harm to people and to yourself, and do no harm to their object, to the things too. Yeah. This is for protection, not to have violence happen. Yeah. And another point is that when you allow him or her to do as he or she wish to do, it's like we go with the flow. Let him or her go with the flow of the process. inner process inside him or her, and let's see what it's revealed out that he or she wanna do. Yeah, I think that's what he or she wants. Yeah, Jen, you wanna add?
Yeah, I love your question. Thank you, Har. And I also enjoy when you say, you be responsible for your actions. I think we talk a lot about this. It create awareness. I think one of the key is awareness, right? Whatever you do, I'm not gonna say no. Of course, with no harm, that's my suggestion as well. But be aware of the consequences, right?
Yeah.
You will take responsible of the consequences. That's one thing. So what you say was really nice. There are other ways, like Chanchai say, that you could do. I could also I'm thinking, what would I do? What could be the possible options in this process? Maybe I might empathize with him. It seems like you are frustrated. You have think of many strategies to calm yourself, and it seems like it's not working for you. So you can start with having empathy for him, and then see from there. He might say yes, and then he would maybe say more. You can follow the flow. So maybe it's more like unfolding, like Chanchai say, what is his inner world at this moment? What is making him say that, no matter what advice you are recommending, so maybe you're working with him, unfolding his inner world. Yeah, that's what I would do. Yeah. How does that land on you? Oh, Chanchai, you have something else?
No, I just want to ask. I just wonder what happened after you give that advice.
Until the time that I say, okay, whatever you want to do, if you want to do something, just do it. And he's like, ha.
Yeah.
So before that, it seems like I feels like he tried to push me at the corner of the room to prove that what I have teach the class is not work. So that's what I feel at that time, honestly.
And
But it's very interesting that the Chanchai say like maybe my answer is not what he really needs. So maybe he want me to say, okay, if you want to do something, just do it. Maybe he waited for that.
And I'm just sensing now I'm doing process work. I'm just sensing your question is so important now for this talk. I'm sensing that you are asking on behalf of many people at this moment who are listening to us. Whatever we are saying, when we ask how could we, come back to ourselves and connect, and when Chai and me is saying what we can do, perhaps many people also have this question, really? But it's not easy. You said it seems like it is so easy, but it's not, So so I think your question is really helping us in this flow as well. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Just other one thing I want to share is that when I really want to learn more from you too. I really want that we learn something that we can apply not only for well-educated people or intellectual, but also we can apply and we can talk to manual laborer, or we can talk to like street vendor, something like that. Because honestly, my family, they are labor. So if I say to them like, hey, mindfulness, follow your breath, they cannot understand, and they cannot do that. So I also apply that with my students too. I want something more practical, something that they can understand, and when they apply that, they don't feel the border, they don't feel the I mean how can I say, they can go to that room with like no door. Okay, not many door in between. So that's what I want to, yeah.
Good. Thank you. Usually I didn't encourage people first to be calm and mindful when you feel angry. I sometimes encourage people to, what you want to say, speak it out, express it out, but not with your conflict party, with someone else first, so that you can process it out. What I share many things underneath of the feeling of angry actually is what I process myself and process other people. When we can express our angry fully, at the end we might find something that actually we feel sad, we feel guilty, or we feel something, and there's some things very valuable that miss in this situation that make us in conflict. Or even sometimes we got some boundary violated from other people, which is very important. Some boundary, some area that we don't want people to come in, but somebody keep coming in always, verbally, energetically, even physically. And when it happens repeatedly, we need to be angry. It's very justified to angry for me. But we just let our anger energy to transform into a constructive way that we can deal with the situation. Something like that.
Oh, I want to add that what you share is very interesting, because we usually confront anger as something we want to remove. This time you say is one of the language for us, one of the way for us to convey the boundary, as something you should emote. So we should like leverage anger as a tool for us to communicate people and set the boundary. I think that's very important. And related to the anger, in the question box below, the one session that question they asked, she want to ask about the anger, because there are so many noises that trigger and overstimulate in the medical environment, and she felt angry with it. So that's what she said. So, but I'm not sure what you want to ask. Can you ask specifically more? Chị Hương, chị có thể hỏi một cách cụ thể hơn không? Tại vì em vẫn chưa rõ cụ thể như thế nào ấy.
Maybe she could turn on her mic, unmute and speak.
Nếu được chị có thể làm bật mic lên chia sẻ nha.
Bên vừa mới bật mic. Hello everyone. So this is my first time joining. I'm currently having really anger issue at work. I'm having anger issue at work right now. Because in the elderly home, most of them have dementia. And we have call button. I think other medical services also have call button. It's nurse call. When you need something, you call. And I mean, it's an environment where the nurse call keep beep, 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 from morning to the afternoon. And sometimes there are people sitting and they knocking their hands on the table. Keep knocking. Gong, gong, gong. And they keep singing the same song. I mean, if I have break time and I come back, those noises are okay. But sometimes it's just too overwhelming. Just a little bit drop, like a straw on the donkey and break its back. Like someone say, the food is not good. Okay, so they throw the food on the table or they dump the food on the floor. And like, that's the last straw. That's the last straw for me. Sometimes my anger is like, stop it. I mean, I cannot hold it in. And that is totally not professional. And I was told by the leader and manager that I have to control problem. But at that time, all I can do is like screaming at them, yelling at them, unless I can take a break. But during work, it's not break time. It's not okay. How to diffuse this anger at them? I mean, not at them really, but because so many stimulus keep going on. Okay.
Thank you, Huang, right? Sorry if I mispronounced your name. The one who did many noise that you said is the elderly, right?
Yes.
Okay, our elderly that in your office that you need to take care, and they keep doing something so noisy and knock 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 and disturb you.
And one thing I think I caught you correctly, they have dementia as well. Is that correct?
Yes.
อันนี้คืออะไรนะ
สมองเสื่อม
I would say by this, there's two or three things that we can do with this. First, find some space and sometimes separately to process your anger out with someone. I can understand that it's quite stressful working with people with เรียกว่าอะไรนะเมื่อกี้
dementia and old
Dementia.
people as well.
Yeah, old people with dementia, I can understand that it's very stressful, and our energy when we work with people like this every day, all days, our energy drop, and we need some space to refill our energy. So I suggest first we can have some time, not with the elderly, but with someone, or even with yourself alone, and process this anger out. One thing. Second thing, I'm not sure, this is organizational dimension, that there need to be some system in the organization that let the staff can be pause and have break time, or some activity that the staff can re-energize him or herself, or some activity like he or she can complain or can share their stress to someone and get empathy from someone. I think this is a kind of organizational issue that the organization should provide this activity, this space, this time for the staff to fight at this moment first. Jen, you want to add anything?
No, I don't have much to add. I really agree with you. And I don't know how to pronounce your name, Huang, right? Is that correct, Wei? Huang. First of all, I just want to say, whatever you're doing, it's a very important work. And it needs a lot of, for anyone to do something like what you're doing, we need a lot of space, internal space. And I think workplace environment that support people who work like you is really important. I'm sad that your boss, when I heard you say your boss say you have anger issue and you have to work on your anger, I feel sad to hear that. I feel like Chanchai say, in terms of system, maybe there could be something that the organization could do to support the staff in this matter. Like, yeah. So I just want to say that.
Thank you.
How was it for you, Huang? Our sharing. I mean, our answer, Jane and me.
Thank you, Chanchai. Actually, it helps me a little bit relief because I'm not the problem here.
Right. You're not the problem. Your work is very difficult. Yeah.
And I accept that what they blame on me, I accept that, and I also hold on to the anger. I'm thinking of like what you say, talking back to the leader, having some times and talk to the leader that the anger issue is not only me, but is the working environment. Maybe because I express more, so instead of like other Japanese people, they will hold it in, hide it. While I'm like a foreigner not knowing Japanese etiquette, shouting out is not something acceptable at work. So maybe they need more diversity view and like not only foreigners, but just because Japanese don't shout it out loud doesn't mean they're not angry. Thank you for that.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank you. Thank you. This is very important. And it's for me, it's connect to our physical symptom too. If we cannot express our anger, the destructive energy of anger will go somewhere else in our body. If we keep it chronically for many years. So we need to find some way to process it out in less destructive way. Yeah. So that's why I encourage people to shout out or process out in the safe space. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Huang. And I can see many people write in the chat too.
So a lot of questions related to the empathy that what Ji Hương shared about the organization culture, and mostly about that. And there's more question related to anger issues. Not anger issue, but like the speaker shared about his situation when he tried to manage the anger by himself. It's a little bit easier, but in front of other people, he fights very hard to deal with it. So he wanted to ask how to express anger when being with someone.
Can you ask the question again? Sorry, how to?
Practical ways to express the anger when being with someone.
Someone's mean conflict party or other people.
Anh Hải, can you share a little bit about the context more?
Yeah, sure. So someone here would be like, for example, like my partner or some friends that I'm talking to at the moment. So I'm have a feeling angered during having the talk with them, and how to express my anger without hurting them back.
Okay. This is the important that we need to process our anger first in the safe space, not in front of the conflict party, so that we can understand ourselves and we can. There's some question asking about centering and alignment. This is the answer to. We need to we need to process our anger so that we dive down our anger to see what we really need actually, so that we can align ourselves with what we need and what we value. By alignment, what we mean is that our action, our mind, our heart, and our energy is aligned together. And when we are in this kind of alignment, we touch what we need, what we really need. We can see, we can express out that we want, let's say, like we want respect from you, for example. And we can make a request that, can you speak in the way that I can sense that you feel respect to me too? Can you be more softer? Can you, rather than try to judge me, can you ask me about the situation before you judge me? Something like that. When we align to our need and value inside, we can make a request to respond to our need and value. Yeah, in general case, I won't encourage everyone to express your anger to conflict party. In general case, I encourage everyone to process it and make it in more constructive way before you communicate with your conflict party. But there might be some special case, not like this. But I would like to just answer in general case first.
Yeah, thank you. So I think the best way for me to do that would be maybe request a pause between us, and then like each of us or me specifically go to somewhere else and like doing something to process it and then come back. And I think the promise to come back is really important.
Yes.
In like I'm not like going like forever. I will come back. It could be good. Thank you for your answer.
Thank you. Hi.
That's wonderful. When we ask the person that we need time to process, we're gonna come back later. I think it's still very important that we communicate very clearly about what we need right now, and signal that we want to solve it, but not right now, because I'm not have the capacity to deal with the emotions. So we just ask people for the space. I think that's very practical way to process the anger. I also would like to share my experience when dealing with the anger. One of the ways to deal with that is I look deeply why I get angry. Usually there is some words, some sentences, and some gestures that process it with some narrative. Sometimes like the way you look at me is like you look down on me, or like you say that means that I'm stupid. And when those things happen and the narrative happens, I automatically get angry. So I just look at that emotion and reflect back to the past. And then I remember it used to happen to me because my friends or the teacher, even my parents, react or mimic the way they do right now. So for me, it was to look at it, and then I realized that, oh, it's not that people say it, but it's the past, the trauma that I've had in the past that reflect and come back to me at this current moment. So one thing I do with that, okay, I distance myself from the old narrative, and I change that narrative. Oh, I rewrite it with my consciousness over time, and slowly I'm able to distance myself from my anger and my emotions. Some experiences when I deal with my anger.
Thank you, Hui. I really enjoy your sharing. that you work with your awareness about your past trauma. At the same time, I really enjoy it when you say you kind of make it a distant. I think that's very important. We learn in our parts work course as well, where we talk about parts. Many people might not have learned yet, but I think when we are letting the anger just blend with us, like the anger take the place, then we don't see the anger clearly, right? So what you did is you kind of step back a little. So what I want to say, what I heard from you is, and also sharing this with everyone as well, that the anger is not who we are. It's just a part of us that is angry. And we have many other parts as well that we can take care of the anger and really carry on with our life. So I really enjoy you saying, you make a distance.
So thanks for your sharing. So I think we somehow slowly transition to how we communicate ourselves with conflict. It's like in a very smooth process. It's not planned ahead. It's planned ahead, but somehow it's happened naturally like that. So is there any thing you would like to share more about we communicate when it comes to conflict? So far we have shared within our partners, with our family, and some organizations. And in situation of organizations, I heard that sometimes it's not because of us, but because of the structural design of the organization that create the anger or the problems. So I would like to share it. Can you share more about this situation? Because in majority of the organization right now, it's in hierarchy, and in many situations that create many conflicts. Can you share more about how we deal with it in our life? Do you
You're mute.
do you get what I mean?
Maybe would you repeat your question?
So I would like to ask, because in the situation of organization, there's a structural design in the company or organizations like a conflict within the employees. So in that situation, how can we navigate the conflict? Because I think this situation is very common when we have conflict within in many departments, and even the boss and employee, because of the power dynamic as well.
Yeah. I think I'll share a little bit, and then maybe Chai could also share. From our experience, I think that we work with many organizations is that the structure of the organization itself actually leads to conflict, right? Or the very classic one is, this is just an example, but the very classic one is the sales and production. That the companies say, as a sales, you have to reach certain KPI within this month and this month and this month. So you have to find more customer and find more customer, right? That's the way the organization designed. So you have more customers. Yet at the same time, the production say, hey, we cannot produce, you're going too fast, and we cannot produce in time because you find too many customers according to your KPI. So two departments start fighting because of the way the organization structure is designed. So I think one part of it is to look at the structure itself. I think Chanchai could add more to that. And maybe I'll pause here first. I'll let Chanchai add, and then I'll move on to the power dynamic part.
เมื่อกี้จะถึงไหนนะฉันไปอ่านตรงแชทพอดี
Oh, โอเคฉันแค่อยากให้เธอแชร์ต่อเรื่อง KPI ตีกันจ้ะ We speak Thai sometimes so we can understand and align more. Pardon us for that.
So we can know a little bit Thai as has
ฉันพูดถึง structure ขององค์กรมันทำให้คนตีกันแค่นั้นแหละแล้วฉันบอกให้เธอ add เธออาจจะ add ตัวอย่างให้เห็นภาพฉันพูดถึง production กับ sales
There's many contexts in organization, and I might use this kind of organization. Like we found one organization, we set up organization. Like many of you, I guess that try to set up some community organization or community of intention. We come with very good vision. We come with very good dream, and we set some rules to each other. But sometimes when times run years, 2 years, 3 years, we might have conflict to each other because as we try to run our organization, many issues coming in, and we need many people to help. One of the primary issue of the founder that they need to encounter is about how they can survive financially. Yeah. And sometimes by that rank, and it's gonna connect with James about power dynamic that James share later. By our rank as founder, sometimes even we invite our friend to join the organization, we might have conflict because we need to think about how can we get the income inside, and our friend need to work more harder to provide better service or some product. So we can, in this case, as we can change the system and the structure, we can set some more process or some more agreement to our colleagues that how I can say that we can share our concern to each other. The founder might share that I'm worried about income of our organization and our friends' financial or salary. So I feel stressful, and there's many mechanisms that I want to push into organization. And I think it might enforce many friends inside our organization. Yeah, and the staff, other staff who are friends might also be able to share their concern. Also, like I cannot work overtime because I need to go back to my family to take care of my parent. In your age, I'm not sure you have children or not. Yeah, take care of son, take care of your nephew or whatever. Yeah, so I need a kind of work-life balance too. When both sides can speak, can share their concern, their needs, they can find some more process, some agreement, or some system that help they to serve both sides' needs. I use this example because go back to the first when we asked, two departments have conflict to each other. We need leaders who can change the system that to talk about the conflict and change the system that serve both sides' needs. Yeah, something like that. If we don't have leaders like that, sometime in some organization, we can have a kind of staff sitting together and try to find out the solution about system change. Yeah, but in hierarchical organization, we need leaders that have this kind of idea. That's why it's going to be very difficult because usually people just put it as personalized issue when two people have conflict in organization, it might be because this guy is so bad and this guy is not good in that way, not polite or something like that. We try to put aside the personalized issue, and we need a kind of leaders who can see the systemic issue that cause conflict. Yeah.
I have nothing to add. I both try. So would you like to ask or reflect?
The reason that I ask the question is because I also see this as structural problems, because sometimes the people have a good heart, good intention, because the design of the structure, KPI system, or the not connection between departments, or lack of communication between departments, these things really creates not understanding between amongst all of the departments. So in order to solve the problems, we either, as we said, find the leader who have the same visions to change the system, or we change the whole structure of the system. Or else it's very hard to change or to solve conflict, because it will come back again and again because of the structural problems. That's what I think.
For the issue about KPI, if we can change, if we cannot change this, we cannot change as the conflict still have more. But if we can change, if we can talk with leader to change the system of KPI, what we might change, rather than having departmental KPI, we can have a kind of share KPI that every department should help to meet that set of KPI rather than their own different department KPI. One of MD of big company used to share with us when we facilitate a conflict workshop, that it's like what Jane said, conflict between production, sale, and QC, quality control, and I'm not sure which one, delivery. Yeah. Every department have their own KPI, but this MD said that I, as the center who need to decide and to overlook for the whole company, usually what I see, what I concern is only 3 factors. Is that we have produced product much enough as the order. Second one is that we can deliver in time. And the third one is we deliver the quality product, qualified enough. So as MD, he focused on these 3. And sometimes some factor might need to lower a little bit so that we can meet quality. Let's say like the order is about 1,000 items of product, but if we try to meet all that 1,000 of product, we cannot meet the quality. So we need to reduce to 800 items so that we can produce the product in the standard of quality that meet the quality, something like that. So rather than get each department have their own KPI, we might have all department the share KPI with this same set together. And with this kind of share KPI, the set of KPI, the leaders need to help each department to communicate to each other too, rather than let them in silo.
Thanks, Sanchai, for your sharing. Do you like to add anything, Jane? Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Does this respond to you, or I go to the different direction?
I think it's very important to think in terms of like how we deal with the conflict, because in this situation, because it has to come with the solution in terms systemic way. It cannot come with our own with individual change. So that what you say is really matter as well. And in the comment sections, there are one question from Cát Tường. Can you share, open the mic and share with the group? Your
Why the
question.
question? You read, but mine you don't read.
Can you read?
Hi.
Can you say again?
Yeah, so I have this one question. It's about, so what if in case you step back and do process work and then make a request, but during in conflict, that person, because they're also in conflict with you, or they have a different kind of communication style or background. So when you make the request, they cannot fulfill it. So it's like you're stuck with, I have done my process work, but what I want is not met. So do you have any suggestions on how we should approach this? Thank you.
Thank you. How can I pronounce your name?
You can call me Cat, like
Cat.
the meow, yeah, cat.
Okay, meow. Okay, thank you. มีอะไรจะตอบก่อนไหม? Okay, I can show you two diagrams in answering this question. First, we are like the iceberg. Conflict party is another iceberg. Okay? Underneath of the water level is our inner world. The tip of the iceberg over the water level is situation, our behavior, our words. When we do the process inside us, it's like we dive down to underwater level. This is from NVC, nonviolent communication. We dive down to see our need, our value, what we concern. Something like that, as I share with you when we talk about anger, right? We find underneath feeling of the anger, we find what we concern, what we value, that being violent. And we make requests. We going up to the surface level to make a request, to suggest some solution that meet our need and value. All right? When other party on the right side, on the right iceberg, when the other party say no or cannot give you 100% of what you request, it means that what you suggest might not be able to meet the need and concern of him or her too. Okay? Because he or she, the conflict party, might need some solution that also meet their need too. Okay. So if you want more by the conflict party saying no, it means that what you suggest for the solution or request only serve your need. Then you can modify it. Modify your request, modify your suggestion to serve both yours and the conflict party's need together. In this diagram, we call win-win solution. Yeah, this is the concept. Okay. You say in case of parent or partner. Okay. Partner who are also in anger, I will answer with another diagram. But for parent, I might guess that's many times the parent might concerned about their children when grown up might not have job security or financial security much enough. Yeah, and you propose something that you want to work in this way because you love this job. Your parent concerned about the financial security of this job because it looks like it's not certain enough. Then you can find some suggestion or some request that also meet your need and meet your parents' need too. Yeah, let's say like you can say you can empathize him or her, your parent, that you understand that they concerned about your financial security by working this job. It might not have financial security much enough, and you can make a request that can you give me 2 or 3 years so that I can see. I believe that by this job I can make it secure for my financial, but by 3 years, if it doesn't meet the financial security, I might change. This is just one example that you try to respond to your parents' need and concern too. And also you try to meet your own need and value too. Yeah, I pause here first. Jen, you want to add anything?
No, I saw what's her name? Ngôn.
Yeah.
Yeah, sending heart. How does that land on you?
I think it's a very humbling sharing. So as in after I hear that, it's not just about me. So the conversation when we deal with conflicts, of course we deal with ourselves first, but it's two or multiple people conversations. So we should also put the other person into consideration. So it's humbling. Yeah.
Thank you, Kat.
Thank you. And I think in our practice, I just want to add more as well, that usually what we do, when we say we do process work, we start from our side first, trying to understand our deepest need, values, and trying to request. But we can also, before talking to our parents or talking to someone, that we talk with our friend and guess their needs and values. So we do some kind of preparation in advance before we go into the actual conversation. You can also ask your friend to say, hey, could you help me guess what does my parents need or what does my partner need? So, we can do some kind of preparation first. Yeah, just adding.
That's really nice because I think in Vietnam or it's just me, like sometimes we tend to say it's a two-person story. We don't want to share it with other people, or it's a thing where conflicts, it shouldn't be shown to others because of scrutiny or something like that. So this, however, can be a very low stress approach. So then we can jump in, but like dip a toe in, not wholly the entire body before solving.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing.
I would like to address another point that you asked, Kat, about when the conflict party is still angry. We process ourselves already. We guess their concern, need, and value already, but seem like that conflict party is still not in the mood. What shall we do when we need to talk with them, right? Another slide that I would like to share is this one. It doesn't move. All right. Oh no, not this one. Here, this one. Okay. A metaphor, like a Zen metaphor of the cup of the tea, but this is the glass. Okay. inside us, we need space. We are like the grass, full of water. We feel water in every day. There's a lot of issue inside us. There's some feeling, something that we need to process inside us. The brown or orange grass outside is like conflict party. If both sides are a grass full of water, they cannot hear and listen to each other, because inside their mind, inside their heart is so full. Yeah. When they try to express, when they try to communicate to other people, it's like we throw our water into other people's grass, but other people's grass is still full of water, so it just spill out. It doesn't get into other people's mind and heart, right? So first step is that we empty our glass first. This is by we process ourselves. The first step that we have been talking since the beginning of this session. When we process ourselves, let's say we are the left glass, we might shift from the brown glass to be like the green glass. We have some more space inside us now. When we have some more space, and we go to talk with the brown glass at the right one, people still feel full of anger. When we go to talk with that person, what we need to do is to empathize him or her first. We need to show that we understand, or we try to understand him or her. That, okay, let's say like partner now. Okay, darling, I know that you are still feel angry because I might broke something that I might step on some floor that you just clean. Let's say something like this. Yeah, and you work for the whole day, you are so tired, and you come back home and you try to clean the floor, and I unintentionally step on the floor and make it dirty once again. And that's why you feel so angry. Is that right? Am I right? By trying to guess and express your effort, express your care, that you try to understand him or her, something like this, it might shift him or her from the brown glass to be the green glass too. If you guess him or her correctly, it's good. If you guess not correct, him or her might express, no, I didn't agree with you on this point, but I agree with you because you do this and that and those, and I feel so tired or something like that. Yeah. What I want to say is that we try to empathize the other person first so that they have more space inside. And if they can be the green grass or blue grass, then there will be some time that the other person would like to hear about what we would like to say too. Then we can express ourselves too. That I also feel angry with you because you shout at me, and I need respect. Can you next time just share that you feel tired and you make a request? And also please use your voice that you show that you care about my feeling too, or something like that. Yeah. So by both sides, the best case is that both sides are like the green, the blue glass, have a lot of space inside so that you can fill up water, throw up your water to other people, express your story, your issue to other people, and you can make requests. Something like this. This is the way that we can talk with people with anger. But it's come back to the first step that you need to empty your glass first by process your inner.
Thank you, Sanjay. What you share is very important. That the thing that I take from what you share is that we have to take the responsibility and the control of ourselves, because we cannot control other people's emotions or feelings. So the only thing we can control is ourselves, our emotions. So firstly, we have to deal with our first. Then from that, we go to the other side. I think that was very valuable for me for this session, this sharing. I also want to check with Jane. Are you feeling okay right now? Because you mentioned to me earlier that you might feel want to leave because of health issues.
Yeah, today I'm a little bit tired because of health issue. That's why, but I might be more silent, but I would still like to hear if there's anything I could add. And thank you for asking. Yes,
Okay. Want to check
I
on
also
you.
noticed myself a little bit tired.
Yeah.
But I'm still here. Thank you.
Mm.
I'm also reading if there are many questions, but I'll let you facilitate.
Yeah. So and the time also running out. So I think we gonna spend one or two questions more. And I will prioritize the question that go ahead first. And for the other question that I'm sorry that we cannot have enough time for resolve all of it. We might ask another session, or if we can invite you to the program that Jane and Janjai facilitate, that organized in June. So I would like to bring up the question of Tanber. Berg, are you available there and share with us now? So maybe I will wait for Berg for a while, and let's go with the question that another friend sent to me, that I experienced this problem when the thing that make me angry already in the past, and over time I calmed down already. I tried many things like writing down, talk to someone about it, but whenever we think about it, I felt angry again, and sometimes I wish I can come back to that situation and take revenge, and how I resolve this problem with my anger issue.
I'm not sure.
Maybe I think
Yeah.
we asked, maybe my question would be, what do you hope for in this situation? What do you hope for yourself in this situation? Because when the question say, how do I solve this problem, it's big. So if the person could be specific, like
it was me. So I was hoping to not forget about it, to be completely, when I remember about the issue again, it caused me anger again, and sometimes it hurts, and I feel stupid at that time, and yeah, so I want to forget about it completely, to not be angry when I remember it again, or to be okay with it. Does that make sense? So yeah, how do I
can I ask you, have you tried letting your anger out fully, with not with the person, but maybe with some friends or with yourself? Have you tried that?
I have write it out and speak to some people, like my parents, of course, and I speak to them about that a lot. Yeah, so for me, I think, yeah, I let it out, but over time I remember it again, and then it come back. Yeah.
And how did you feel? If is it okay if we ask more questions here, or
Yeah, it's I
and
think
feel free if you feel uncomfortable to share with the question we asked. Let us know. Yeah.
I'm just consider of the time because I just okay, but you can ask me. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
when you shared with your parents, how did you feel?
Well, when I share with them,
Yeah.
and they listen, it calms also down because I let part of the anger out. But over time, when I remember it, it just come back. I don't know.
Okay.
So, yeah. So
Yeah.
it's not completely solved.
Yeah. Okay. I think I got it. And thank you for your sharing. I'm not sure if I could answer fully your questions. I think someone say it's very deep. I agree. It's something very deep. And but what I'm sensing, like Chanchai was saying, when we express our anger and deep below the anger, usually there are also deep sadness. And sometimes we may need to even we may need to cry about it. I use the word, maybe not cry, but mourn about it. Something that doesn't work for us, something that doesn't meet our needs. When we got angry, like we say earlier, something is unmet. And it's still unmet. And I think what is important is for us to really mourn about it, to really be with that sadness, so that's what I thought, to go one step deeper. Anything you would like to add, Chanchai?
Not yet.
Yeah.
Let's hear from
yeah.
Min.
Min.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for your answer. I will try to cry about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not sure. So in many culture, crying is a taboo too. It's something that we do not allow ourselves to do. I just want to validate that too.
And I also encourage everyone to cry. I cry a lot. And I process myself. I grown up like many people in Asian that man cannot cry. And I process this to cry a lot because I study a lot of violence in the world. If I cannot cry, I might got sick. My body cannot bear many information about violence and suffering in the world. So I encourage everyone, and men also, to cry. Find some place that you can cry. Sometimes I stay in my bedroom and only me, or sometimes I get into bathroom where I can be only with myself and I cry. Or if you cannot cry, sometimes you just mourn. Let the sadness to express out in any way that it wants. Sometimes I write some poetry or listen to the music, the song that quite relate to the issue that I want to process, and I let my sadness coming out with that song. There's many ways that we can process our sadness too.
Yes, thank you for your answer.
Thank you for sharing.
Yes.
Yeah. So can we resolve answer one more question? Because I sense that it's very important for the friend here. I wonder if but that is to me about this, and her top she cannot speak, so I will read for her. So in friendship where both of us have been hurt over time, though different situations that were never fully talked about and were silenced had not replaced communication. How can I let go in a healthy way? There were times I felt hurt but chose not to speak up because I was afraid of damaging our relationship. Over time, those unspoken feelings build up into emotional scar. So when the final conflict happened, it carried the weight of everything that had been left unsaid. Deep down inside, I'm not trying to reconnect or rebuild the friendship. I simply want to release the heaviness between us without carry resentment or emotion burden. What should be the right way to practice in this situation?
This is written in the chat too, right?
Yeah, it's written in the chat. Yeah,
Or the last one, right?
the one that yeah.
I read again. Moment. And then if you have something you can say.
Okay. I think I read it, and maybe while Chanchai is reading, you could add later. I think it's very similar answer to what I responded just now. But I just want to share, when I read this, it felt like, I'm just guessing, Burr, right? How do I pronounce? Bo? Is that correct? Burr. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sensing into your questions, Burr, and it felt there's a lot of pain. At the same time, I might be wrong, Burr. At the same time, I'm not sure. It felt like you do treasure that relationship, that you really care about this relationship a lot, that you care about this friendship. That's what I'm sensing. But I'm also sensing it had comes to a time where you felt like maybe there's nothing you could do about it. So about this relationship, that's why you do not want to rebuild the friendship anymore. Is that correct, Burr? So now for you, it's more like a release of heaviness rather than reconnect. I don't know whether Burr...
She said that yes, I still appreciate that relationship. Yeah.
Any response from you, Chai? Do you want to respond?
That's why I want to sense about this issue first. That's why I read it again. Then thanks, Jane, for review the sense. I suggest, I'm not sure, something that popped up in me is that you can review some gratitude or celebration about your relationship with your friend. You can do it with yourself, no need to do with your friend. Just see the good side of this friendship, and also mourning process about the suffering time that you got from your friends also. So processing out both sides, both gratitude or celebration about this relationship, and also mourning about this relationship, something that is unmet by this relationship. And when you do this process, gratitude and celebration, and also mourning process, you can come to the last process that you choose what you want to go, which is, as you say in the chat, that you want to end this relationship. But by doing the gratitude and celebration process, you can end this relationship without having only the negative energy. You can have some beautiful memory about that relationship also. And you realize that because there's something very very painful in this relationship, finally you choose to end and move on. Something like that, 3 steps that you can be fully process yourself and release the past with very good memory and move on to your future.
I want to add, Bo, I'm also sensing that this is just my sense, okay? And I'm checking with you. My sense that perhaps you have chosen to end this relationship, or maybe to keep silence and not to go back and communicate with that person, because you sense that the person is also may not also be ready to communicate about the issue. So I just want to bring this up, that somehow deep in you sense that maybe this person is not ready as well to talk about it. And I think if you could also see that you're actually honoring the other person by not talking about it, because you sense that. That's my guess, Bo. Yeah. How does that land for you, Bo?
Bơ, not Bo.
Sorry. Huy, you're mute.
I'm calling Bơ.
Oh, okay.
Ừ.
Bơ, you can turn on the mic and answer.
I think Burr is talking to Huy right now. Burr is sharing it to Huy right now.
Okay.
In Vietnamese.
Oh, another channel.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
So she shared to me that her relationship with her friend was very deep, and they had gone through many situations. And especially when they are in an environment that people value the spiritual practices, and regardless, what she chose to do was use the silent treatment to Bơ. And for her, she will very sad and hurt because of the way people that person chose when deal with the conflict. Yeah.
เมื่อกี้ตอนกลางฉันเสียงมันหายไปนิดนึงเธอ
เขาเลือกที่จะเขา
ฉัน
อีกฝั่งเพื่อนอีกฝั่งหนึ่งเลือกที่จะไม่พูดโดย
ใช่
ใช้ความเงียบ
อ่า
แล้วเขาก็รู้สึกเศร้าแค่นั้นแหละ
อ๋อโอเค
yeah yeah thank you for sharing her yeah maybe I guess Burr is just sharing, it's not a question, so thank you for sharing, and I hear your sadness about the treatment, and that helps me understand as well why you choose to disconnect from the relationship. So we will give this back to you.
Okay, thanks, Janchai and Jane. So I would like to check two things. Firstly, because we have discussed that we want to have one last part about the process to deal with the conflict. Do you would like to share it now, or would you would be prioritize answer the questions, or is okay? And also to check with the time, is it okay for you if we carry on one more question? Because yeah, okay.
For me,
So
I think just stay with answering question here is better. It's not the flow to go to the last slide.
okay, so I'd like to invite Kunan. You can share your question.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chai and Miss Jane. So just my thought that I feel like very interested because the topic of today is about conflict. And I think that it come just at the right time because, we just have our Lunar New Year, which is a Vietnamese tradition. And it's a time when, family gathering, and it's the most conflicted time of the year, I would say. So when I was in my family gathering, because I live in the South and my family is in the North, I would witness so much conflict in my family and also with all the friends who are the same age. So when this topic came, I feel like, wow, they just read our mind, right? I don't know. But I feel like it's just, the right one. All right. So when I heard about your first introductions and I heard something that you used to have some family trauma, actually, I think that is a really interesting thing because, for as children, we cannot really escape from our family. And I had friends and I myself, we live in a Vietnamese family, which is very traditional. We value the family and the order in the family in which children must respect the elders. And we know that our parents carry a lot of weight of financial weight. And also they have dispute with their partners and with the relatives themselves. So during this time, we just see as children a lot of conflicts that happen between our parents and with our parents, with our grandparents, and with our relatives, and we just cannot escape. So I see that it's not just my own situation, but many friends at the same age as me who are like in their 20s, and their way is just that they try to bear with it or try to escape from their family. Or myself, I think that maybe when I grow up more, I can be financially dependent. I can solve the situation, but for now, I just stay silent whenever there is like conflict in the family, and I know that it's like building inside me, but I cannot do anything because my role in the family is someone who like owe my parents, so it has to be that way. So I want to ask for maybe your experience. What is the way that we should do as the children so that when we grow up, we grow out and we have our own family, we do not carry all this trauma and start another cycle? What can we do exactly right now and for the future? Maybe that's a very big question, but I really want to ask that.
Very big, but also very deep questions. Very meaningful, thoughtful question. Let me check when you were saying something about the role. You say you cannot do something about it because I didn't hear clearly. Would you repeat?
Yeah, what I mean is that like when you talk about the company, the structure of the company, in our family, we have structure that parents are the one who provide for the children, and we must respect our parents because we depend on them financially. And also we have respect from them because that is the way that we must do. So when they have conflicts, we are not the one who can really resolve that because our role is very minor in the family. So that's what I say then, what we cannot do right now, even though we see that our parents have something that they are not right, we cannot really point that out. So what we do right now is just that we try to escape from our family, we try to stay silent. Or maybe in a few more years, if we have more money, our role switch, then we can have more saying. But right now we cannot do anything with the conflict.
Yeah, I don't know if I can answer all to your question. It's a big one, but very important one, especially when you ask, what do we do that we would not bring our trauma out and, repeat the same cycle? And I just want to express I feel touched with this question because you really want to take responsibility and make sure that you do not pass it on. So thank you for saying that. I'm thinking about my own experience too. I think first thing, as a child, when I was young, I witnessed abuse in our family. And as a child, I thought that usually what happened in a family when this happened, little children thought that they have to rescue the family. Subconsciously, little children feel like there's something they could do to help daddy and mommy. I'm talking about little kids. And you can see many times when parents bring their kids to see psychiatrists, to see psychologists, usually the people who is the problem, it's not the child, but the parents. But it manifests in the kids' behavior, So if I would say what you say was correct, it's their issue and they have to solve it. It's their emotions, they have to take care of it. That's one part I would say. As a child, I'm saying as a child, as a daughter, as a son. There's a different part where you have more financial independent, then it will be different. But right now it's the issue. And secondly, I would also ask myself, what meaning am I making when I see them having conflict? How does it impact me? What do I make meaning of it? Do I judge myself when I cannot help the situation? Do I judge myself? Or what do you say to yourself? Or do I blame them? So you come back to yourself and see what's happening for me when I see the conflict, what's going on for me inside. And I think it's important that you have someone that you could talk to. I think that's very important. And sometimes someone who could truly be there for you, not trying to solve your problem, not trying to tell you what you should do, but just be there and be with you. That's very important. I'll pause here. Chancha, you want to add? as a father?
Your question is so big, and it's set up one school. It can even set up one school of psychology that we learn. Yeah, something like about intergenerational trauma. I would say conceptually, I would say that again we need time and space and friend and maybe counselor to process our what we got during childhood, so that we can separate ourselves as adult and our little child. I mean, when we were young, then we didn't carry that trauma and pass to our younger generation. And by processing that, we might need to have some practical vision about what kind of parents that we want to be. And it's not only vision, but it needs to be practical. It means that we need to practice imagine in detail about if this situation happen, what we would like to do. What is the ideal parents that we wish to be? They're very challenging case for every parent, including me. Even I teach all this for 10, 20 years. When I have 3 kids, 3 children, the most challenging situation is that when I am stressful, when I am in stress about my work, my income, my financial, the family financial, or whatever stress. When I got stressed, when I feel tired, when I feel exhausted, we need to see this kind of situation about what shall we do in interaction with our family member. Let's say like when I quite stressed or when I feel tired and the kids coming to me asking or praying many things, I usually parents will say, go away, just pray with your own, I'm busy, right? Asian parent might say like this. Yeah, I try to practice another way that, okay, kids, Papa feel very tired. Can I have rest for a while and I go and pray with you? Or, kids, Papa is so stressful for my work and I need concentration. Can you go and pray somewhere else? Or you can pray here, but please lower your voice so that you didn't bother Papa's concentration. Something like that. Yeah, and I found that my kids listen very well and they understood and they accept my request. Yeah, they are so care when their parents feel stressed or feel tired, and they just see how they can contribute to their parents. Something like this. This is the second point. We need to have some more practical vision, practical scenario about what we're gonna do in each challenging scenario. Until now, for me, the very challenging situation that I cannot yet overcome is that when they fight to each other, conflict inside the house among siblings. Yeah, especially they fight when I need concentration, or they fight when I'm so tired and have no energy to mediate them. This is still very challenging for me. This is the second point. Third point, when we have our vision, sometimes it's very we pressure ourselves to be in that ideal vision of ourselves, ideal version of ourselves, being parent, ideal parent. The third point is that if we cannot meet that ideal version of being parent for some time, we need to forgive ourselves. Yeah, self-forgiveness is very important. Being parent, we need to practice forgive ourselves a lot. This is very, very difficult for me too, because in many years ago, I used to shout at my children, and I just feel very guilty that why I shout, why I'm so aggressive to my children. Even I teach peace studies, but I shout at them, something like that. And I got stuck with that feeling, and I cannot move on to somewhere else until some process that I work with some counselor, that finally I can forgive myself and focus back that I need to forgive myself and move on so that I can take care of my kids very well once again, rather than stick myself with that guilty and do nothing better for my children. Yeah, so 3 points. Process yourself, process myself, ourselves to differentiate between our childhood and adulthood. Second is having practical vision, having practical scenario. And third is self-forgiveness. Yeah. In the future, you can practice this when you are parent.
Okay. Does this respond to your question? How do I pronounce?
Yeah, yes, it's Anh. Yeah,
Anh.
very much. Thank
Okay.
you. Yes.
Thank you.
So thank you, Chai, for sharing this. I think this is very long and hard journey that everyone have to go through, and it takes time. It cannot simply but get through only one conversation, but it takes, the lifetime processes. The thing that I also noticed from you is that although you also practiced for a long time to deal with conflict or healing from conflict transformation, but you still sometimes struggle to deal with the emotion as well. So I think it's okay to not always deal in the situation perfectly. That's what I learned from you. And I really appreciate what you shared. And what you mentioned that you also need the counselor to overcome your inner issues. Yeah, so I think we need to the environment, the other people to support us as well. Even we are the counselor and so-called expert or something like that. Yeah. So I think we are running out of time right now. So I think we can end the session here. So I really appreciate your time and effort. So I also want to remind people that Chai and Chen are planning to have a course called Conflict Transformation, awareness by conflict transformation. That's gonna organized in June. So if you want to explore more, have any questions or anything that we want to dive deeper, I advise to join together. At the membership, we also really try to support everyone to join this program, because at the end, it's not. It is our goal is to build a culture and a healthy community, and by understanding and have the tools, method, appropriately, we can firstly help ourselves first, then our family, and we will move on to all the layers, bigger community outside of us. And so that we also this program, we not make it as a profit program. We want to make it non-profit. So that's why we try to minimize the cost as much as possible. We try to support the support with the installment for up to 4 months. So I encourage everyone to join this program. And if you need anything, just contact us. then we can find a way to navigate the financial situations. Yeah. So from Chai and Jane, do you like to share anything about the program or about the whole session today before we leave in? Or anyone also can turn on your mic and share before we leave as well.
If I can, I would like to request at least everyone turn on camera so that we can connect lively, visually. Oh, Moon.
Oh, now I know which Moon.
Oh,
So good to
I
see
remember
you, Moon.
you.
wow.
Ah,
Okay. Thank you.
nice to see your faces.
Đang sharing á, sharing là cuối trước sharing chụp hình sau.
Thank you. Oh.
Jane and you can go first if you felt you want to share anything before we leave. And then also other people, I also encourage and invite people to share as well.
I can sense that
Chai, your voice is very low. Can you?
Am I coming through?
Yeah,
It's
I guess so.
better.
All right. From many of your questions, I can sense general situation that many of you are encounter, and I feel very connect with many of you here. And yeah, I feel connect, and I wish that what we share here or what we're gonna share in the future in our 5-day workshops might help you, especially transform yourself. Transform yourself, and you can go beyond what stopped you, what you got stuck, and grown up to be your own beautiful version of everyone. Thank you.
Is there anyone gonna share next?
I think I
So, okay, chia sẻ đi Kat.
So while listening to all the sharings and how your suggestions too, and reading the slides, I felt really happy. I felt like this my episode could be like charged, but at the end of the day, the value is so big that you cannot put like a number on it. And I really am thankful for you to spend your time, because I know when you listen, you don't just listen to make suggestions, but also put yourself into the situations and empathize with us. And that's very valuable. And it takes a lot of energy to do so. So thank you, Jane and Chanchai, for doing that. Really appreciate it.
Okay, thank you, Chai and Jane, for your time and effort when listening to everyone sharing and sharing from your heart and from your experiences, especially for Jane. And you said earlier to me that you felt not good with the health now, but you still stay until the last minute. So I also want to say thank you to both of you. Yeah, and I hope that we're gonna see each other again in Vietnam in June this year. So before leaving, I think we can take a picture together. Okay. So we will take picture of two times because it's a big screen, so I cannot take all together at once. No, still have another side as well. So firstly, that's the alpha side. 1, 2, 3. Okay, another one. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, cảm
Thank you,
ơn.
everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you,
ฝัน
everyone.
đi.